So like all sessions, was in a rush this morning to get out the house for when the slot started at midday. First things that are out of the rods. The second thing, a bit of dinner. Welcome to this week's angling blog, where you join me on the banks of Serpentine pool, and we're doing an afternoon and into night session to the following morning in search of carp. You join me on a very socially distant social with Mark from Cheshire Particle, and let's see what we can get through the day. It's a beautiful spring day. Temperature's up to 20 degrees. It's not going to be easy in the day. It's a shallow pool, and I imagine them fish are just going to sit off in the sun. Put the shelter up behind me to keep the sun off me. Got two baits out. Got one against the far margin on a snowman with half a pop up, so it just sits on the bottom. And then I've got a PVA bag round about here, just about 5 yards off the bank. Expectations are really low for the afternoon. Obviously as the day cools you'll get a chance, but hopefully we might pick up one bite. But it is the middle of the day and it is baking hot. So as beautiful as the weather is today, a lot of it is being spent just watching the carp going about their daily business. You can see there too, just mooching right down the middle of the pool. Temperatures are due to drop quite dramatically overnight, down from 20 degrees into single figures. So I imagine once the day cools down, we get into the afternoon, that is when we might pick one up. You see a carp's just top there. They are in a very just not playful mood. It's nowhere near spawning, just waking up and moving about a lot more, but not necessarily feeding. Temperatures are so dramatically different at the moment. It's 20 degrees and it's the end of March, and then other days it can be 5 degrees or it's going down to 5 degrees at night. So they are very hard conditions to catch fish in with such dramatic changes. But with it being a shallow pool, the metabolism will be working a bit more. They'll need more food and energy to go about the daily activities, and you just got to wait. And that is the hardest part of carp fishing for me. The angler in me would be chasing them with bits of bread on the other pools and trying to lay traps. But with the carp fishing, it's a lot more being patient and trusting the method. Trusting what you're doing will eventually get you the bite, even if it will take a couple of hours. What we'll do now is we'll just have a look at the rig that we're using today. So the setup for the session is my Shimano Velocity carp rods. The reel is the Zelos 6000, and on there, in line with the fishery rules, I've got 15-pound line. I've got that down to 60 centimetres of tungsten loaded rig tubing, and it's down to a PVA bag. In there I've got a inline lead, which is 2 ounce, 25-pound hook link, again in keeping with the rules, and on there I've got a pink pop-up. So as you can see on screen now, it just leaves one patch of bait, and in the middle of it you've got that pink pop-up. With the venue so shallow, you're just hoping that a fish goes over the top and you catch its eye and pick up a bite. As you can see from the screen, it's blue skies. Chances of getting a bite during the day, minimal. I think it's going to go into evening, into dusk and into night where I'm expecting to get a bite. So sausage and bacon barms for lunch, and afternoon tea, Madeira cake and a cup of Yorkshire tea. Can you not knock it? Incidentally, them pictures that you've seen of the rig, that I dropped in the edge there, just looking just to see how long it takes to break down. And if you look at that now, you can see all the pellets are still formed. They've well swollen up quite a bit, but that's probably what, it's been 2.5 3 hours maybe now since I put that in. You know, we're into the early afternoon, still far too hot to expect a bite. I haven't recast any of the rods. I've still got the PVA bag out there and the other one just about there, just about 6 yards off the bank. Just a beaten-out boilie with a white pop-up on top and a couple of boilies around it. But normally I'd be sat at home now with COVID at my desk, but the sun's out. I'm going to sit back, enjoy that Madeira cake and a cup of tea. So we're into the afternoon now, and if watching carp is your thing, then this has definitely been a day for watching them. They've just been going about doing their own thing, mooching about. So looking at where we're going to be spending the evening, I've got my day shelter. Don't really bother with a sleeping system, just sit in the chair. It's a nice comfy chair. In this corner here we've got all the bait, 2 hold alls. I've got the hold all and the backpack. In one I've got some clothes, the food and the bait. In the other, all the rig materials that I'll need for the session. On the side tray, got my tackle box, rig tray, all the little things that I'm going to need. Obviously that's essential. And then on that side all my cooking stuff. So just coming up to 6:45 and both rods are in now. I've got a pink pop-up just round about here, tight up to the far bank to pick up anything that's patrolling. And there's been a lot of fish in this area here, so I've got a bait just in this area there in open water. You know, 2 chances of intercepting fish coming down there. That is me opening gambit, as they say. It is cooling down. It's been great, you know, being on the bank with Mark, you know, socially distant of course, but you know, we can see each other and, you know, chat at a distance. So it's been nice to spend some time on the bank. But right now, just going to sit back, chill out. And this now is when the excitement levels do rise. It's a lot darker than it does look on the screen. This new camera's obviously picking up a lot of the light, but it's definitely not that light. It's head torch time, and now, you know, everyone on the pool started getting the odd liner. Mark getting a couple of liners. There's a lad down the other end of the pool, he's had a few liners as well. So this is the time where you go for him, not expecting to expecting. And just fingers crossed we can get 1 carp. So just before turning for the night, just going to have a cup of coffee. You know, the temperature does drop at night, and just going to make sure you have a warm brew before you settle in, and then you're just ready for the evening. The temperature's dropping already, and it's just got that feel now that them carp that we saw mooching about before, there's no signs of them on the top now when you look at the other ways at the quiet water. But it's time for the brew and an early night. As you can see behind, we're just putting the gear away. It's been a freezing cold night. So always important to look after the stocks. I'm just going to treat the hook hold with some carp care. What a lovely long common that is. Absolutely beautiful.
As you saw there, literally as we're packing away, the rod's gone, and it just shows how long them PVA bags with that pellet do hang about. Right on first light, the rod has screamed off, and what a lovely reward that is. Just under £16 of common carp. Proper made up. Can't wait to get home and get warm. Absolutely freezing cold last night. Let's get it straight back. I hope you enjoyed this week's blog. Tight lines in your own fishing, and I'll catch us all next time. Tight lines.